Hey Starseeds, welcome to Starseed Energetics. My name is Ashtara and I'm going to be transmitting messages for April. And this month I'm not going to be using cards because I'm just going to channel straight away from various different councils of lights, especially the Arcturians. Usually I get downloads and cognition from various star systems, but the reason why I use cards sometimes is to synchronize on an agreed upon symbol to show you that the messages are transmitted, and then the synchronicities kind of really work wonders when we're communicating. But for this month the messages are so precise and intense that I just want to go ahead and channel it straight for you, and then maybe if I have time I'll just also do a card reading for you because you love card readings and I love it too. It's really cool when there's pictures. But let me just first go ahead into kind of dropping into the different messages that I want to tell you, some of the people that I love the most in the world. And I know that everybody's going through different things. You're in different locations in the world, you've had different walks of life, but one thing that's happening for sure right now, and my gift to you, is my ability to look at things from a very abstract perspective. And my cognition is so abstract that sometimes it just doesn't help for grounded things like doing taxes or whatever, which I still have to do this month, which I don't even know if it's relevant anymore. But anyway, I want to kind of share with you how I perceive it, and my mission over the next few weeks or next few months or next few years is to bring you the highest frequency content. But anyway, the first thing that I want to say is that the current distortion that you're experiencing is mental confusion, as well as obviously emotional, but mostly mental confusion, because a lot of different mental constructs are breaking down and the reality filter that you've been experiencing this dimension from is crumbling. And this is something I already mentioned to my patrons, those of you who are up in that platform. But there's a concept called hyper reality where it becomes very confusing to distinguish between what is really reality and what is not really reality. And the truth of the matter is that there's no kind of different polarity between what's real and unreal. There's only a spectrum of reality and unreality, but everything that already exists is already reality. So even if something is imagined, it's a spectrum of reality. It's existing on some level of mental field. And what's gonna happen is that that reality kind of filter is going to really become almost non-existent in terms of what's real and not. And this is actually preparing us for higher levels of technology that can be manifested in the next couple of years that has been incredibly suppressed, including virtual reality, holographic reality, mixed reality. Imagine stepping into that world where you will literally experience a different level of subjectivity when you step into an application. And that's kind of what you're experiencing now on a very natural scale. Is like every single timeline that you tune into is a rabbit hole, and you might be very confused, but this is the same energetic structure that we get to when we get to that level of complete source level cognition of manifestation on an instantaneous level, or the 0 point field, which only humans have the ability, out of all of the different dimensional creatures, have the ability to tune into that source code and then operate on a subjective level on that objective scale. And so what you're experiencing right now is like everything is true and untrue at the same time. And what you have to do is realize that that mental confusion is not meant to be resolved but transcended. So it's like the heart space. You got to go into your heart space instead of being lost in the sauce of the mental confusion that is basically the theme. You just have to accept instead of trying to resolve, okay, this is gonna happen, I heard disclosure is gonna happen in this time, or I heard there's gonna be a blackout in this time. Like all of those different theories, or the ice age, or whatever it is, the coronavirus, the 5G, the chips, the nanobots, the economic whatever, all of those things are just excuses that you're labeling as to the mental confusion breakdown of the reality construct that you've been densely packed into in the past eons of time and moving into the fluid translation of navigating omnidirectional time perception. And so just accept the confusion for what it is energetically, instead of trying to figure out or prepare for a certain timeline or make sense of what's happening or construct another paradigm in which you want to adhere to, which you have to be really careful when that mental confusion is blowing up, just to transcend it instead of trying to construct another tunnel out of it. No more tunnels, just go into your heart space. And what's a very practical way to go into your heart space is to basically trust every step of the way. Trust everything that's happening as if it's divinely orchestrated with every tweak. So even if something that comes into your path seems like the longest detour, or it seems like taking 10 steps back, just trust that it's the right thing. And in order to help you with this energy, you can tune into my calibration activation that I released a couple of days ago. It's called Aligning with Your Highest Probable Timeline or something like that. I don't know how I titled it, but you know, it's got like the purple thumbnail with the geometry. So tune into that. That'll help you tune into that a few times, even if you don't feel it. I know a lot of people feel it in their body, but if you don't feel it, just trust that it's still working, because it is. Okay, so next, so the new system that's about to occur, this fifth dimensional reality or whatever, interdimensional reality, ultra dimensional reality. I don't particularly resonate with the word fifth dimensional reality. I resonate with the fact that we're going to be able to navigate through fluent different dimensions of reality, so kind of like ultra dimensional reality. And that's going to come with, first and foremost, an internal perspective evolution. So you'll be able to seriously experience every moment in a new kind of level of perspective of viewing everything, which in a very simple way put, again, is from your heart space. And everybody's gonna have a different way to tune into their heart space, but a lot of people who are on this kind of really evolved channel, you can literally just intend it and be like, heart, and then it just happens. And just kind of tuning out all of the energetic cords that you feel around your brain and literally dissipating that into your heart. You can do that with intention or, you know, visualization. You're a magician, remember? All right, so next thing that I want to talk about is the fractal energetic field kind of making itself very blatantly obvious. So what you will be experiencing right now is literally, if you look at the universe in terms of fractal energetic complex interweavings, your human experience is a bioenergy field superimposed on top of so many different layers, like your mental body, emotional body, etheric body, and then it's actually anchored into this dimension with the planetary grid of the earth, and then it's anchored into the earth with the solar system grid of our sun, and then after that there's different layers to it, obviously, with the central sun, and then there's a celestial grid. So all of those things are you, and what's happening here is basically any unresolved distortion of the code of the fluent kind of source code transmission that would occur on an ultra dimensional consciousness would be blatantly knocking on your face to understand it, resolve it by transcending it, as I said before, instead of getting caught up in it, witnessing it and transcending it. And it's going to be very easy. It's going to be in your face, like I said. So for example, a really easy example that I can give is previous situations, scenarios being a little bit more evolved in the past, but then coming up again. So whether that's like a relationship pattern, and a really common thread that we're going through together on the social level is this lockdown. Why are you locked down in a certain location? Because if you remember my January reading, if you've been tuning into me since January, back then I had no idea this was going to happen around this time, but I said exactly the thing. I predicted with that energy reading that all of us have experienced this glitches in the matrix when it comes to the time continuum, but we're going to experience it with space continuum this time. And so that's being transfigured right now. All the blockages that you had regarding your fluid experiential navigation in the space continuum is in your face, because you're forced to face the fact that you're stuck in one place. Why? And why is it that you resonate with that location, that you were choosing to live there, and then now you have no distraction but to face the actual energy around where you're stuck? Why is it that house? Why is it that city? What are the different energetic matrix of that in particular location that you manifested it as your residency place on earth? And take a look at that energy and resolve whatever is not serving your highest good, and accept the fact that that's an extension of yourself, because now you cannot move, you have to look at it. And you know what that's doing is basically anchoring in the higher kind of blockage that was on a social level, is that as humans, we're actually intergalactic civilizations, and we have the ability to travel in time and space dimension, especially in space. We're able to go to Mars. Are you kidding me? It doesn't need Elon Musk's old school rocket shit stuff. It literally, we have vehicles that are suppressed that can get to any place and hack the matrix of space. And why is it that we're just stuck in one planet? That fractal is playing out on your personal level because you're stuck at home. Can you see that energetic blockage? And can you resolve that internally? And then when you resolve this internally and where you're at on a microcosmic scale, it will eventually ripple out to enable us the actual liberation of space continuum, which is intergalactic travel. We have that. Let's bring it up. Let's question why it's suppressed. So that's food for thought. The next thing that I want to address is all these different fear-based paradigms. And this, if I don't know if you watched my vlog that I just put up a couple days ago with Hong on, you know, it was in Ubud, and my friend Hong was on there, the one who makes the herbs. And actually I got a lot of comments that are concerned about the fear-based projections of the timelines, even though in the beginning I told everybody to be discerning of what he says and see what comes up. So for the people who are very much triggered by all of the different conspiracy theorists projection of time and the different kind of events that may happen, first of all, I want to address to you that you're probably bypassing a lot of different truth about the collective. If you don't think that we're gonna have to face a financial crisis before we implement a new economic system, that's kind of unrealistic. That's like saying I want to drop 50 pounds without eating anything healthier or exercising any movements. That's not the way that things work on a 3D scale. So if you want a new decentralized economic system and outdo and override the Babylonian dark magic money, first there has to be a crash of that. So please don't be triggered when my friend is saying there may be a financial crash and so stock up on food. It's not saying that we're gonna have a shortage of food. He's just saying prepare for a possible timeline when the ATM's not working and the bank's not working, which, you know, makes a lot of sense. And to take out all the cash, maybe you can adjust how much of that you want to take, but it's a very valid point, and it definitely depends where you're living. So if you ask me if I'm taking his advice, I am resonating 100% with buying gold and silver. I've already done that. I resonate with that from a very clairgnosis state of mind. So that's one thing. And the second thing that I resonate with is his advice for me to stay put in one place, which I had actually been planning since last year. So I'm gonna be staying in Bali for a while. But then when it comes to the food, am I personally stocking up? No, not right now. Like maybe when I settle down I'll have a few more things, but the lockdown is quite real. Like if my family lives in Toronto and all the supermarkets are already like sold out of food and stuff, so it's like it's already quite real. And for me it's different because I'm in Bali and I'm fortunate enough to be in a place where if the banking system went down, I could just walk down the street and there's these older local people who sell like fruit and food out of their house, and they don't even have internet, so they're not even gonna know like what happened. So like for me, no, I'm not gonna need to go through that paradigm. And when Hong said, if you watch the video, when Hong said, you know, you can max out your card and buy all this stuff, somebody pointed out, I really respect this guy though. I really like your vibes and you're really intelligent. I dig you a lot. So it's not a criticism on your comment. I appreciate it so much. But he said this is a very lack mentality thing. But you have to think he was actually referring to people who don't have a lot of assets to invest in gold and silver. If you listen carefully, he was talking to people who don't really have a savings account. He was saying if you all you have is a credit card, go ahead and max it out, because when the banks crash, guys, the the entire monetary system was based on debt. It wasn't based on assets. It was based on the concept of debt from the beginning. So, you know, maxing out your credit card and then having more debt, you know, it's a questionable thing if the debt is gonna be there later when this whole thing goes down and then everybody moves on to a metal kind of gold and silver backed currency, and then eventually cryptocurrency. But between this monetary system up until cryptocurrency, which is a huge leap, we still have to figure out many different rules when it comes to decentralized economy. We still have to figure out how to navigate through that. So there's going to be an in-between phase where we go through, you know, the gold and silver backed currency, and then for that to occur there needs to be a crumbling down of the old system. So it's not a fear-based thing. He's not fear-based at all. I mean, like, yeah, he's like he was born through the Vietnamese War and stuff like that, so he does have like a more of a cautious approach, but just take what is true from that, which a lot of what he says, he's not some guy that will just blabber about things that he has no facts about. He is one of the most intelligent people that I know, to a point where he has difficulty articulating his thoughts very fluently sometimes because his thought levels are so abstract, and like connecting higher dots, knows a lot of resources. And so that's part of why I brought him on. But then obviously I didn't want to make the video too long, so I would just cut a lot of what he said. If you love him, I can bring him back. Let me know in the comments. But in any case, I just want to address that part. And also, if these different theories trigger you, you have to take a deep look again at why it's triggering you. It's most likely because you're insecure about what you believe to be true, and you're not liking when other people say something. So let's say, for instance, I'll give you a good example. Let's say that somebody was like, oh, in the next 3 months there's gonna be 5 million red clowns from Mars coming down and slapping everybody in the face. Like, are you gonna get triggered? Because no, you probably don't feel threatened by that nonsense. But then when somebody says something that triggers like an insecurity that you already have, then you're kind of like, okay, why are these people saying all this stuff? Like, it's kind of annoying. So take a deep look. This is a good energetic exercise to take a deep look at why these things, these timelines are triggering you. It's probably based on your insecurity because you're so reliant on your mental cognizance on what's going on. You're wanting to make sense of what's happening. You're wanting to predict things, which is a very human cognitive thing to do. However, just drop into your heart space. And also, one more thing is, yes, all of you, most 99.8% of you are well protected. You were born for this. Your light bodies are prepared for this, and you were meant to thrive through this. These people who have been living through this human paradigm from a starseed kind of genetics, you will be fine, and your frequency is high enough and calibrated and plugged in to the source enough that none of these things will really bring you down. It's the masses that will have a tumultuous time. However, when these timelines come up that you're uncomfortable with, instead of just dismissing it, being like, oh, that person is low frequency, they're just fear-based, just take a deep consideration that this reflects a certain paradigm of the collective, and this is a collective journey right now. So instead of dismissing it fully, take it into consideration that it's a valuable strand of why this happened in the first place and what this would mean about your subconscious and the collective unconscious mind. And then from there, you can tune into what makes you feel most aligned and calibrated. So those are the kind of few things that I wanted to kind of transmit to you in order to help you navigate these timelines. And the last thing that I want to touch upon is the twin flame dynamic. So 2020 is the year of the portal, and it's the year of the twin flame. And I want you to right now just take a moment, take a deep breath, and throw away everything you've ever heard about the twin flame, romantic soulmate type of thing. Throw it away and just understand that on the most abstract level, your twin flame is the dynamic that you have within your internal space and your external reality. That's your twin flame. And what's happening right now is that's being hyper calibrated. That painful relationship dynamic that you know as a twin flame between two people multiplied by every single reflection that you could perceive with your subjectivity in your reality. That's what's happening, and that's kind of the same thing as the fractal kind of resonance that I was talking about before, the fractal energetics, where macrocosmic energetic grid distortions are reflecting on a personal scale. That's basically what you're experiencing. So take every single trigger, chance, emotion, mental pattern as a blessing to catalyze your evolution. And that would be the final thing that I want to leave you with in April. This has been Ashtara Ren at your interdimensional healing service. This was a channeling from the Galactic Federation of Light and the Arcturians in particular. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you actually like these more than the card readings, you can let me know, or if you enjoy the card readings, like whatever, I'm literally at your service through these times. You have my heart. I'm sending you so much love and positive energy, and I will meet you soon. I have so much content planned. I have so many high frequency collaborations planned that I'm so excited. All I care about right now is to literally transmit the highest frequency content to you on this planet. Thank you, and please, if you like this video, click the like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is that helps me thrive on this platform. Please do it if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Hey, actually, I just want to add one more thing to all of the people who applied for a job on my February video. I am actually mind blown by all the high frequency applicants. I am so excited to hear from all of you guys, but as you may know, this COVID thing, due to that, everything is on pause right now. But please understand that I'm going to keep all of your documents in file, and whenever I can resume with whatever I've been doing before, I will contact you if you are the right fit. Otherwise, I'll try to email all of you back, but I'm literally mind blown by all of your cool resumes and your applications, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for wanting to work with me. I'm so honored, and I love you so much.